I feel so lucky that I've been able to spend so much time in Nepal over the past 2 years. In this video, I'm going to be showing you some must-do activities and places to visit during your trip to Nepal. I'll be showing you the highlights of both Kathmandu and Pokhara, and a couple of places you might not have heard of. Most people travel to Nepal to trek in the Himalayas, but luckily there is plenty to see and do both before and after your trek. Most likely your journey will begin in Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal. So give yourself several days to explore the city because there is so much to see here. First on the list is the Boudhanath Temple, or the Big Buddha Stupa as it is often referred to. It is one of my most favorite places in all of Nepal. Located about 4 miles from the center of Kathmandu, it is one of the largest spherical stupas in the world and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Tamang, an ethnically Tibetan group in Nepal, have been living around Boudhanath for many centuries and still own land surrounding the stupa. You can get a really great view of the stupa from up here on top of the Tamang Gampa Monastery. The roof of the monastery is covered with the glow of butter candles, and the aroma of incense swirls through the air. You can join the pilgrims that each morning and evening circumambulate the stupa to show devotion, pay tribute, and accumulate merit. I found a great little cafe to reflect on my travels and enjoyed a nice breakfast. Outside of the Himalayas, this might be the most stunning view in all of Nepal. Kathmandu can seem a bit overwhelming, but it really is a very manageable city. There is a lot of traffic here, but you can easily take a bus or a taxi. There are taxis everywhere. Another fun way to get around is by rickshaw bicycle. Even if it's just a short tour around the market area, a rickshaw ride is a must for any visit. There are many rickshaws stationed around the main tourist area in Tamil. Next, I suggest you head over to the hilltop Swoyambhu Temple. The taxi drivers refer to it as the Monkey Temple. Said to be built over a self-existent flame, the Swoyambhu Temple, also known as Monkey Temple, is one of the oldest religious sites in Nepal, built in the year 640. Although Swoyambhu is considered a Buddhist temple, it is revered by both Buddhist and Hindus, and the monkeys here are considered holy and are fed and given free run of the complex. At the top of these 365 steps is the beautiful white stupa, whose base is supposed to represent the entire world. On top of the white dome is a cube structure painted on all 4 sides with the eyes of the Buddha, which represent wisdom and compassion. Above each pair of eyes is the third eye. The curly symbol, symbolizing the nose, is the Nepali sign for the number 1. This sign represents the unity of all living things existing in the world. You can walk all the way around the hill and enjoy a peaceful reprieve surrounded by the city below. At the back end of the hill, you will find the Swoyambhu Buddha Park and its 3 beautiful large golden statues. Next, we're going west to Pokhara, the tourism capital of Nepal. You can take a short flight, but I've always opted to take the bus. There are really comfortable sofa buses you can take, and the journey takes normally 7 to 9 hours, although there can be delays due to construction, landslides, heavy holiday traffic, but it's a great way to see the countryside. The center of activity in Pokhara is on and around Fewa Lake. The eastern shore of the lake features a very long promenade and is the gathering place for tourists and locals. From here you can take boat trips, relax in a cafe or restaurant, and even brave the rides at Pokhara Disneyland. Ever since I got to Pokhara, I've been watching people on the lake in these pedal boats, and it looks like so much fun. So this morning, I decided to rent one and take it for a spin. It is really peaceful out here on the lake this morning. I paid about $12 for a 1-hour rental, including life jacket. And there are official ticket booths, so you don't have to worry about haggling over the price. For amazing views of Pokhara, Fewa Lake, and the Annapurna Range, a trip up to Sarangkot is a must. To get there, take the amazing Annapurna Cable Car. The starting point is at Seti Bagar, near the lakeside in Pokhara, which starts at about 2,700 feet in elevation. The end point is up at Sarangkot at 5,250 feet elevation. The cable car ride is great, but this trip is all about the views from the top. This is my first time seeing the Himalaya mountains, and I am blown away by the size and the grandeur of them. I know it doesn't come across in the video how big these mountains are. I've never seen anything like this. At the top, there is a ridge you can walk to take in the breathtaking views. There is also a temple from which you can get views of the Annapurna Range from one side and Pokhara and Fewa Lake from the other side. You can also relax in one of the many cafes and restaurants with the mountains towering above you. Back in Kathmandu, make sure you take time to explore some of Nepal's fascinating history at one of its Durbar squares. I suggest visiting Kathmandu Durbar Square and the Bhaktapur Durbar Square. Kathmandu Durbar Square is the most visited, as it is located in easy walking distance from the hotel district in Tamil. The architecture in Kathmandu is like nothing else I have ever seen. I just love exploring the city and admiring the beautiful red brick buildings with their intricate wooden carvings. Now I am in Durbar Square, home of the ancient royal palace and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Kathmandu Durbar Square is an ancient royal complex with temples, courtyards, and an informative museum. Admission is around $7.50 for foreigners. Bhaktapur is further from the center of town, but well worth a visit. Bhaktapur neighborhood is a wonderful place to explore. A trip to Bhaktapur is a glimpse into the past and allows you a close-up view of Nepalese culture and religion, with the main attraction being the royal palace. It was started by King Bhupatrinda Malla and completed in 1765 by his son Ranjit Malla. One of the most visually striking spots in Bhaktapur is the Vatsala Devi Temple. After standing for over 300 years, this temple was completely destroyed in the 2015 earthquake. Its reconstruction was just completed in 2021. The Nyatapola Temple represents perfect artistic beauty and is the highest pagoda temple in Nepal. Don't just stick to the main square. Wander around the Bhaktapur area and get lost in the maze of narrow streets. While exploring, I found myself at Pottery Square. Here, the tradition of pottery making remains as it has been for centuries. and you can watch the potters as they spin their wheels and expertly craft the clay into beautiful designs. Back on Fewa Lake in Pokhara, you can take a short ride out to the Tahilbahari Temple. So we rented one of these colorful little boats called a dunga. You can get them with a driver that does the paddling for you, or just rent one and paddle yourself. This is the most sacred religious site in Pokhara, and you can only get there by boat. There is an incredible atmosphere out here. There's music, dancing, and offerings in the form of lighting butter candles. Every evening on the lakeside, you can witness the fascinating Aarti Ceremony. There are Aarti ceremonies taking place all around Nepal, but I just love the vibe of the lakeside Aarti here in Pokhara. During the religious ceremony, lights with wicks soaked in ghee are lit and offered up to one or more deities. This musical Aarti is performed here at the lakeside every single evening, as well as in 36 other locations around Nepal. The ceremony is fascinating to watch and feels like a celebration culminating with dancing. This is also the place where you can catch a boat across the lake and do a day hike up to the Peace Pagoda and the impressive Shiva Statue in Pumdikot. There are several trail options. There's a trail coming from the Fewa Lake Dam, and there's another trail starting at the lake. This handsome statue sits at around 4,900 feet above sea level. The statue itself was built in Madhura, India, and brought here to the hilltop outside of Pokhara. This is an active Hindu temple and sees many daily worshippers and religious activities. From here, I'm going to hike down to the World Peace Pagoda and enjoy the stunning views of the beautiful Pokhara Valley on the way. On a clear day, you can enjoy the magnificent view of the Himalayas, the lake, and the city. The views from here are magnificent as you look down upon terraced farmland and ancient river valleys. The hike from Pumdikot to the Peace Pagoda ended up taking me about 45 minutes. This was the 71st pagoda built by the Nipponzan Myohoji, a Japanese religious group founded in 1917. Actively engaged in the worldwide peace movement. If you are looking to get away from the crowds and spend some time in nature, I suggest that you head to Begnas and Rupa Lakes. Close to the city, these lakes offer a quiet escape into nature and better views of the Annapurna mountain range. Opened in 2022, the Rupa Suspension Bridge. It spans Rupa Lake at 882 feet long and just over 3 feet wide. This place is phenomenal, and if you come out to these lakes, walking across the Rupa Suspension Bridge is an absolute must. If you are afraid of heights, this bridge is definitely going to cause you some anxiety. But it is the best place to get stunning views of the gorgeous Rupa Lake and the green mountains that surround it. The water in Begnas Lake is a beautiful blue-green color. For hundreds of years, the people of this area have created terraces that allow them to grow crops in mountainous areas in a way that prevents erosion and conserves soil. Run by the local communities, fish farming is done in both lakes, along with the protection of certain endangered species. So my fish is here and I can't wait to try it. It smells delicious. Normally, I do not eat freshwater fish, but the government holds these farm fisheries here to such high standards, and the water in these lakes are so clean, I'm willing to give this a try. Oh, stuffed with garlic and spinach and mushrooms. Oh, nice. Yeah. This is awesome. That is so tasty. Gotta be careful of the bones though. If you are looking for an authentic glimpse into Nepalese and Hindi culture, I suggest a trip to the Pashupatinath Temple. Designated a World Heritage Site in 1979, the Pashupatinath Temple is one of the oldest and largest Hindu temples in the world. This temple is dedicated to Shiva. Covering over 600 acres, it is part of this sprawling complex of temples, ashrams, and images raised over the centuries here along the banks of the sacred Bagmati River. The main temple is only open to followers of Hinduism, but all the other buildings in the complex are open to foreign visitors. This is one of 7 holy areas found here in the Kathmandu Valley and contains over 500 temples. This temple attracts hundreds of elderly followers of Hinduism every year. They arrive here to find shelter for the last few weeks of their lives, meet death, and be cremated here on the banks of the river. Their ashes will travel their last journey in the waters of the sacred Bagmati, which later meets the holy river Ganga, or the Ganges. Hindus from every corner of Nepal and India come here to die. During a visit here, you will see cremations taking place. But death is looked at differently here, and the ceremonies taking place at the Pashupatinath Temple are seen as part of a much larger journey. No matter what time of year you visit Nepal, there are plenty of festivals to witness or take part in. The Hindu festival of Dashain takes place every October. Over the course of 2 weeks, this festival honors the universal Mother Goddess. It is a time for families to reunite and exchange gifts. This year I was lucky enough to get in on the Holi Festival in Pokhara, and it was such an amazing experience.
Happy Holi!
Holi is a festival of colors, where splashing each other with color symbolizes victory of good over evil. Splashing each other with color also brings life to your wishes and your celebrations. Holi is a festival of life, love, and passion. I absolutely love Nepal. It is like no other place I've traveled to. From its stunning scenery to its warm and genuine people, Nepal has something for everyone. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, leave a comment, and subscribe, because there is so much more to come.